All right. Good evening. My name is Nathan Wall. Um, Today's discussion and video is going to be over the three lessons that I would teach a upcoming manager and what winning versus success means to me. The first lesson on motivation that I'd like to talk about is motivating everyone. There are some employees that are just best to be left alone. You're not going to be able to motivate them. They're just going to want to get their job done, go home, and be with their family. Well, these employees can be some of the best employees you can have. They're going to do the job how you tell them to do it, when you tell them to do it, and when it has to be done by. But on the other side of the coin, the employees you can't motivate or can be some of the worst ones. They're going to tend to do bare minimum, always try to get away with passing the work off to somebody else. And these types of employees feel that even if they are punished, they still have a job. Okay, so you're not going to be able to motivate these individuals at all. They're just going to want to do the job, bare minimum, and just get done and get over with. Okay, that's from my experience. Lesson two: when you try to motivate somebody, start with trying to motivate everyone in the group, not just one individual. Uh, this doesn't mean that that person has to be happy or derive some form of enjoyment out of their job or their assigned task. When you have to motivate a group with these individuals that seem to be unmotivated, the motivated in the group will tend to drive the motivation in the group and down to the individuals that are unmotivated. What do I mean by this? As if you ever watch a group of soldiers that are running, or sailors, Marines, airmen, you'll all see that they're singing. They're all singing cadence. Everyone seems to think that everyone is singing is for motivation. And I can tell you that's false. The reason they're singing is because it passes the time. Okay. The term false motivation is used here to prove a point. Even if you think you've got an individual motivated, it may be false motivation. Just be aware. Okay. So typically, if you motivate the group will tend to motivate everybody else. Okay. Lesson three: using rewards to motivate people. It takes an understanding of what drives the employees of the firm or company you're working in. If you're working in an environment that gives the ability to allow people with free time to take care of business on the clock, and you use this to keep employees motivated and working great, just be aware that employees will try to push these rewards as far as they can. Sorry. When using rewards as motivational tools, I have found that smallest gestures tend to get the biggest returns. When I was a shop foreman for the maintenance teams when I was on active duty, I found that if I told my guys, hey, if we get everything done in a timely manner, I'll do my best to get y'all out of here. I never promised to get them out as soon as I could. I said I would always do my best. But then on the flip side of that, I would tell them that, hey, if we get, X, Y, and Z done on Thursday and we don't have nothing going on Friday, we'll have a cookout. And I always seem to get a lot of positive feedback from that because the guys always love to eat. Figure that. But it was just small gestures to show the team and the individuals on the team that I appreciated the work that they were doing. Okay, one of the biggest motivations for my team at the time, or any of these teams I've worked on in the past, has always paid off in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Okay. Now I'm going to go a little bit further into this. As I've talked about rewards for motivating employees. This is because I found in my life experience that rewards tend to work better than punishments. Okay. In the grand scheme of motivation, punishments tends to play a small role in motivating individuals or employees. Okay. Punishments were always used as a last resort for what my management style. I didn't like punishing people. I always tried to get the best out of them. And if I couldn't get the best out of them, then I would move to the punishment phase. Okay. Okay, on the subject of difference between winning and succeeding, John Wooden's theory, is that self-satisfaction is the cornerstone of success. Meaning that if you've done all that you could, and that you could honestly look at yourself and say that it was then best, you could not have done anything more than you succeeded. John Wooden actually said success is peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing you made that effort to become the best that you are capable of becoming. Now, in my life, I could use a whole bunch of examples, but I'm going to use one that's more current than the rest. For me, a prime example of succeeding was when I was first discharged from the military. Now, this was in 2008. Before I got discharged, I knew that I had to find a job. I did have friends in the industry that I was going into, but I still had to fight for a job. So with my discharge date coming up, I went and applied for a job as an instructor. Figured why not? I was an NCO. I knew what I was doing. I could teach. I could train the guys below me. I could motivate them. So I figured, why not? So um, as of today, the company I actually worked for is the ninth largest defense contractor in the world, and I was just fresh out of the military. I got the job the day I spoke to their team leader. This would not have been possible if I had not believed in myself and that I could do the job. I knew I could do the job because I had been doing the job. I also knew if I worked hard enough and became a valued member of the team, that I'd be chosen for key assignments. Literally 1 year from the date that I got picked up to go to work for the teams, I got assigned a task and I went to actually teach a new vehicle to a foreign country. It was me and another individual. So to me, this is what I call succeeding. I set an objective, go after it, and preserve until I meet my objective. Whether that's in my family life, my school life, anything like that. So that is my video for the video discussion. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm always available to answer questions. Y'all have a great night.